Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon, where today we have another Wargame match from the tournament. It's a 3v3, Conquest, no income, 3000 starting points. Make do with the units that you select and hope that they survive. And if you can, heal them up, make sure they get back out into the fight and continue. Today I have a match between the London Tea Party versus the Jewish Magicians. The Jewish Magicians on red 4 and blue 4 gets to pick the map, and blue 4 selected Plungin Valley. So I suppose that they have a plan for that, and I am interested to see exactly what that plan is. It looks like they're going with a quick rush with a command infantry unit over to the right. At least that seems to be the orientation that Bearpaw's Panther is taking. We also have Bearpaw going with more French units towards the right. High veterancy here, we got elite units. VAB 2013s, also elite units. Lots and lots of elites. I wouldn't be surprised if Bearpaw is using a motorized deck. Judging by the high level of veterancy on pretty much all of his units, I believe you can only really get that done if you either pick elite units or if you go for motorized. And motorized, of course, on this map is not a bad idea. Now we have Lukefit over here. He's going to be setting up a defensive position by the looks of it over there. He does not seem to be too interested in going to Foxtrot. But then again, of course, I don't know what's going on in chat. We have Dev Dog going into Delta. That's red 4 coming this way. And over to the left in Bravo, we got one Hammer from Sniper Fire. And we have Javelin, who is pushing towards the middle of the map. And I think, judging by the units, that he's going to go into the forest, because I'm not really seeing anything other than a bunch of transports. And where a sniper's going to take his Merkava 3 Baz, I'm very interested in. Javelin also deployed a couple of Noahs, making sure he can cover the skies. We got Sniper Fire's HVMS, probably the spot for the Merc. Let's see what they're going to be up against. Red 4. We got Dev Dog going with a Hilo, a Super Puma, Elite, so let's expect Eric's. DHS MA-24P, countering enemy helicopters from Lukefit. I wonder if he's going to rush that way. I'm seeing quite a lot of fobs. Maybe they're still going to delete one, but 2 fobs seems excessive. Especially considering that you only have a half hour and that artillery is... Well, it can be worth it, but it is expensive to run. So make sure that you don't have too many fobs, because they could be a waste of points. Pugsy going over to the right with Strela 10, OT M60P and T55 Igmans. We got one CV here, a second CV airborne, a third CV from Lukefit sitting here. And there might yet be another CV in here somewhere. If there is one, I'd say it's in the Zil, but their veterancy is too high. What else are they bringing? Are they keeping defenses around? Oh, there's the next CV from Pugsy. And Pugsy's bringing a Gazella, which seems to be on a more defensive deployment. Alright, we're off. Where do these guys intend on going? Blue 4, as expected, with the VABs rushing towards Foxtrot. AMX 1390 in support. Can you get that in a motorized deck? No, you cannot. So it's not a motorized deck. Or, hold on. Yeah, you can. It is in a motorized deck. Mephisto, there's the Panther. 2 more Panthers rushing forward. One with Reconnaissance, Puma Pirate. And we get the Panther pushing forward with a Snap. And judging by veterancy, could very well be Commander Marine. Interesting to also see 2 AMX-13. You don't see those very often. This is what I find interesting about the tournament. You get to see units that you don't see a lot. The AMX-13s, well, they're not very accurate. They do have a decent rate of fire, 5 rounds a minute, 5 HE. Dispersion is really high, though. So that's the trade-off. Your dispersion's high, you're going to land shells, but where is anybody's question? Now, we already have the first engagement going on between a Drakon from Sniper Fire versus the Super Puma from Dev Dog, and he did drop off the package. The Erics are in a front position. And they are probably spotting all of this stuff that's coming in from Javelin. Javelin rushing in with the Danish. And the Danish with CV-9030s can be very deadly. Fortunately, there are reinforcements coming from DevDog. And while they might be able to take care of one, maybe two of those CV-9030s, they're quickly getting stunned and wiped out. Now I'm seeing a flank attack from both sides here. This is interesting. I wonder if they're going to see each other. This is what Blue 4 can see. This is what Red 4 can see. No, they still haven't spotted each other. Blue 4 is still oblivious. Now they see him. Now this guy can't very well do much aside from shoot with the Browning. But that pirate has an autocannon. Pirates engaging with the autocannon. But is Bearpaw aware? Or is Pugsy going to get away with it? The Gazelle is taking heavy damage. He's not pursuing. But he did drop off, so I think he is aware. Now we got Foxtrot in a pretty defensive setup over here with Bearpaw. He has Legionnaires, Mephisto, MX-1390. Note that there's a lack of super heavy, but then again, in this area you might not really want one of those. Over towards the middle, Sniper Smirkova is still pushing forward. Let's put it to neutral again. And it seems like the amount of units over here is reconnaissance infantry, interestingly. Now the Sissy do have a pretty decent ATGM in the form of the Raika. The Raika does 18 AP. Reload could be a little better, range could be a little better. But hey, it is a reconnaissance squad, and they do have very good stealth. Interestingly, Sniper seems to move his HVMS forward, potentially trying to get shots at vehicles. But the HVMS does not have an HE value, so while it is very quick on the draw, it doesn't do much against anything that moves like an infantry unit. But it does, in fact, do very nicely against a T-55. And either the HVMS, yeah, it's got veteran, or the Merkavas took it out. It's a Merkava 3B and a Merkava 3D. Very dangerous combination against infantry. In the infantry, the Sissy team got wiped out. Let's see, the right flank seems pretty quiet. Red 4 has it firmly under their control. They even have double CVs over here. And Blue 4 does not really seem to be too interested in pushing in. It looks like they're just going for a holding strategy here. Although Sniper's Zelda might be doing some force reconnaissance. Magland team from Sniper pushing up forward. We got Bearpaw saying incoming. So there is probably artillery from either the 105s, the MX-13s, or something else. This did indeed look like something else, like something really sizable hit that, but I just missed it. We still have a reconnaissance team over here from Pugsy. Two Senke are on the move towards the base, where Javelin's command infantry is hiding pretty deep inside the forest, so it's not going to be terribly easy for them to find them. And once they do get spotted, I think the Senke can take them out with the RT-20 pretty quick. Now, what's Red 4's action here? They're pushing forward. Risky move here by Lukefit. Motor shoots a 90 pushing out, but immediately getting stunned by Bearpaw's Elite Fab 2013s. Rima pushing out. No, they're holding. Two aircraft coming in from Red 4. A MiG-25 RBF, that's a big investment in the plane. 500 kilogram bombs, 8 of them. Airstrike comes in. Wipes out almost all the Rima. Just 3 survivors. And that second plane... No, that's just an aircraft. Just a fighter. Over here on the right, DevDog seems to think that he can go on the offensive, or he's signaling something to his team. I think DevDog and Pugsy over here have a distinct lack of reconnaissance. Maybe the recon unit just got killed off, but I don't see it. Which means that the drug team over here is not going to be very effective, because it won't have a spotter. Now, Blue 4 is in command of this area, and it seems like Red 4 is not really planning on contesting it. Sometimes you can push a CV in here. Of course, it is risky. It is an area where the enemy pretty much knows where you are, especially in this situation because they control everything else. In this situation, where CVs are prized possessions, it's not that likely that you see them pushing out that deep into enemy territory. Looks like we're getting a bit of random artillery fire on the presumed location of the VAB. At least I think that's where it's striking. Yeah, it's this little tree line. And that was courtesy of the Tuncha. Can Blue foresee those? No. But they can see the last known position. They're doing counter battery fire. And the Tuncha have been hit, but Lukefit's moving them away. Fighting Falcon from Javelin flies in. Drops off a couple of 1,000 kilogram bombs. Wipes out the infantry. Stuns the tanks. Well, actually, very briefly. And that just leaves a T-72 M1 mod, a T-72 M1, and an XA-185 KRKK in a position. But they're not that much of a threat. Neither party is at this point gaining any kind of points. Blue 4 is ahead by 60 points. But I don't really see where they're going to break through. Because it's not going to be in Bravo, although they could pretty easily take up position here. I think that Pugsy has a lot of units sitting over here, which could be a lot more aggressive. Of course, I have perfect information. He doesn't know that this town doesn't contain anything. And that really the only long-range threat over here is one Dorban LR. Sniper does have the Maglan, which of course also are ranged threats. But still, there is a lot of potential here in Bravo. Wow. That's bold. Having a CV just sit in the middle of the road. Credit where credit is due. You don't expect that. There is, however, a potential for the Maglans to spot it. Because the CV is not particularly sneaky. Neither is that Ito 90 that just got wiped out by the Maglans. And Sniper's pushing forward, trying to get more reconnaissance. And the HVMS is immediately wiping out units as either the HVMS itself or the Maglan are spotting them. We have Javelin is pushing Stormers into the building. They're probably just as surprised as Red 4 that nobody's really encountering anything here. The T-72 M1 mod's retreating. Taking a hit, a big hit from the Maglan. Those spikes really hit hard. To be fair though, the T-72 M1 mod was already bombed. So it was not at full health. What you got there, Javelins? Or, sorry, Maglans. T-72S. The Maglans are getting hit by mortars and by the T-72S. And instead of falling back, they're actually going on the offensive, hoping to kill the T-72S, but that didn't quite work out. Legion 90, still holding position here. It's not going to be terribly easy for them to push up, especially with vehicles, because this area is firmly locked down by Conkers. They also have some anti-air guns, at least on paper, because these can be just as easily very effective against infantry. But then again, that's what the Mephisto is here for. We have an attack marker here from Lookfit. That is where the Maglans were. Oh, we have an encounter here. Javelin seems to know that his CV is under attack. And the Senka are right on top of them. Pugsy is really dangerous here with these Senka. CV's out in the open. That Ram Recce could come in very handy right about now. Artillery strikes very close to the position of the CV. And it is RT. It's not that one. I'm thinking it's the 105s. No, the 105s are firing the other way. The Senka are using that sniper rifle of theirs to take out the Ram Recce. And the Ram Recce died, but so did the Senka team. So the Senka team are dead, leaving Blue 4 with a captured fob, but they can easily recapture that. And that probably caused a bit of a distraction, potentially allowing for Red 4 to go on the offensive. Instead, however, I'm finding Blue 4 units in a position where they weren't a moment ago. DevDog is asking for help for his T-72 M1 mod. At this point, it might just as well be worth it to drive back to base, get it repaired at a fob, and drive forward again. And the Nora B? What are you trying to shell? Is that still going for the base? Yes, it is. More or less the last known position of the Commandoplas, but of course these guys are not sticking around and waiting for the artillery shells to land. They've moved, and although they have moved just outside the tree line, they are no longer concealed. They have regained control of the sector. That little stunt, however, did cause Red 4 to gain a few points. They're now at 12 points. Blue 4. No, hold on, what's happening here? Yep, Blue 4's sniper team, yeah, snipers Hapak have captured this area. So they're neutral, and DevDog is pretty much spot on with the prediction of where that CV is going to be. So they know where it is, and I'm pretty much waiting for the Norway to turn that big gun of hers around and start going for that command infantry team. Sniper has also spotted the CV. Yep, they know exactly where it is, and they identified it just by looking at it, which this thing is not too hard to see, as it has a very distinctive shape. Let's not go entirely without a UI. It is taking artillery fire. DevDog noticed. He's urging his teammate to get that CV out of there. And in the meanwhile, Red 4 has removed that double CV that they had over here. And they're trying to drop it off into this sector to neutralize Fox. Now, with the departure of the CV here from Lukefit, Alpha is open, and that means that Blue 4 is currently at a +3. They still have that incursion behind enemy lines over here from Bearpaw with the Commando Marines and the Commando Para, but they're not really going to be reaching anywhere near the enemy base anytime soon. MiG-25 RBF coming in once again. It looks like they're trying to drop on a couple of VAB 2013s. Normally, I would say that's a big waste of points. But in this case, VAB 2013s can be very deadly. Now, no team is gaining points anymore because the CV in Alpha is secure. Although it does seem that Javelin has some idea where it is. Maybe some sort of last known position. We actually have Sniper Fire's Givati in the enemy sector. And they know where the T-72 is because, well, that's really hard to park. Sure, you can park it more or less behind a tree and inside a tree line. But the Givati are still going to see it. L-15M comes in. Drops a couple of 500... No, what is that? 250s? Anyway, drops bombs on the Givati. And the Givati just jump building. Making sure that they don't get hit. Perfectly calm. DevDog surrenders. Okay. Sure, Blue 4 might be slightly advantageous. But it's not that bad. If Red 4 really wanted to, they could push here pretty hard. Move in first with your OTM-60s. Then come in with the T-55s. And by the time that the T-55s are there, you're probably gonna have wasted all the spikes from the Maglan and the Dorbin LR on your transports. And the T-55s could just rush in, kill the Hapak, and Blue 4 really has nothing to stop them with. But if you sit around and wait... Oh, there we go. Maglan first missed the missile. That leaves them at 3, and the Dorbin's at 6. They are exceptionally accurate, but not if they lose line of sight thanks to this building. And there we go. Blue 4 has killed the CV down in the middle, putting them once again solidly at a +2. Maglans are down to 2 missiles, Dorbin's to 6. Alright, that's them gone. See, Red 4 had such an overwhelming force here in Bravo, but they just kept it. They just let that advantage slide. That's very, well, negligent of them. I'm not opposed to playing defensive. Don't get me wrong. I'm not opposed to playing defensive. If you have a good position, then by all means. Play defensive. Maybe carefully probe the enemy position and see if there, well, in this case, if there is an enemy position. And if not, then they could have easily prevented the Hapak from capturing this sector and counter-capturing it from Red 4. But instead, what we're seeing is that they have not taken enough initiative. And because of it, they are getting punished. Merkava 3B and 3D working together to take out a T-72S. Double Conqueror's team could make a few dents into the frontal armor of the Merkava 3D. But these guys together have a lot of firepower, and so do the UAZs die very quickly. There's just a couple of HGM infantry here. They still have the Tuncha, but I don't really expect any miracles from them. Legionnaires are operating very carefully. Kill over there. I think the unit that did the shooting also got killed. Because I saw something blow up here. Not quite sure what that was. Legionnaire from Bear Paw now pushing up. Any moment now they're going to spot that command infantry. The Tuncha are moving back. And I think that the Commando Para have an ambush prepared for them. That's one Tuncha down. Second Tuncha being locked onto. Elrax and gone. We now have the T-55s pushing forward, but it's too little and it's too late. And it's just not really going to be successful. Looks like Javelin's trying to push with a CV-9030N. But while these things are pretty potent against infantry, against the T-55, they're struggling. And that causes Pugsy to also leave the game. Dorban have one missile left. Maglans are out. Dorban's locking on again. 99% chance to hit. And they do, but they lose it out slightly too late to the Hammer Mapats. And Blue Force now to +2, but Red Force just consisting of one team member. So it's pretty much done from here. Now, takeaway from this match, don't sit idly by. And don't try to probe the enemy line. Do try to probe the enemy line, because sitting idly by and waiting to see if the enemy is going to come to you means that at some point they probably will, but only once they're done clearing up other flanks. So over here, Pugsy could have played quite a bit more aggressively and tried to push into Bravo, secure the buildings over here, and not allow Blue for any kind of counter position. Then again, it's easy for me to say because I'm always on this tournament matches spectating from neutral viewer, and I don't actually suffer from the pressure of being in the actual game. Anyway, quick match. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the tournament matches. I think there are some really, really nice replays in here. And you can find all the replays in the Battle Replays channel on my Discord if you want to have a look at them yourself. Including the one from Razman. And again, check out his link. Check out his video. Link is down below in the description. There is a lot to learn from every team and for every team. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you soon for another one.